genuine. I'll guide it, ask questions. Anybody can chime in, but all these barbershop talks is we've been talking about a number of things, but the number one thing is we're talking about mentoring our young men because they're the ones who are facing the biggest adversity around our city right now. So I'll jump right in, and my first question is going to ask, that I'll ask anybody who wants to answer is that when we think about the school district and then the city itself, what do people view as the district's role in young men's lives? Anybody can jump in and answer it if they want to. Come on, y'all don't be shy. This stop 6. Everybody has been playing along with me. My question is, what is the district's role? Oftentimes, when the news rolls a story, we get the brunt of the in our city or anybody have crime because people say the kids should be at school. And I'll give Paul credit, he doesn't do it, but previous administrations and mayors was the students should have been in school. Why didn't the district do anything to keep the students in school? So stay in school and out of trouble, if you will.
So I feel like men, older men in school to like represent for the figure. So I believe it should be like more men in the school rather than bad thing that women in school, but it should be more men. So the boys or the young men growing up can have some father figure in their life. Have a father at home.
It is on us men to for you young guys. I'm sitting here today and I look at you all and I see the future. I see guys who are doing morning. Yes sir, strong handshake, look at me in my eyes and in the greeting. So that gives me pride to see that. But a lot of young men don't get that, and so us as mentors and leaders in this district to make sure that we provide those opportunities to be that good example. So I concur with that. But we do need our ladies.
Before, I'm going to keep you on the spot for a second.
Sure.
Because I know you got an older son that's playing college ball. You got a young son here. Yeah. And you mentioned these young men, upstanding young men. How do we as men get more involved with helping all of our young men be much like these young men? Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Right.
Firm handshake.
Right.
Things like that.
Well, for me, Tito, it started, both of my parents were teachers. So I had the opportunity to be raised by educators. So I didn't have a choice. And so I think they kind of raised me to where my sons don't have a choice. Starting at an early age, that's something that you have to instill, young men, when you guys have families of your own, you instill in your children to do the right thing early on. And so when you, if you see a young lady walking into a store, you hold the door open for her, right? Have y'all heard that before? If you're walking down the street you're on a date, when you guys get to that point, you make sure that you're on the outside and you have her on the inside of the sidewalk. Like little small things like that about being a gentleman. I don't think we talk about being a gentleman in this world enough. I think that, you talked about having a son in college who's playing basketball and having a 10th grader now. I think it's just important that we have those conversations all the time about doing the right thing and moving in the right way.
Behind, you have one more? I know my guy behind you on them.
I think that our presence in the school is much needed. I think that also that a lot less social media will help us, teach you all, because a lot of y'all kids are social media driven, And when we was raised, we wasn't social media driven. So we was kind of like hands-on with parents and what we saw in front of us, and not a visual that was made up. And I think that a lot of y'all are driven by that, and they've taken that away from the presence of the male in the schools. And they took a lot of the things that y'all don't have now, as far as like discipline, different disciplinary actions that we was taking, that we was afraid to do things. We was afraid to not go to school because of the disciplinary actions. So, you know, a lot of things was taken from the school system that you all doesn't have. And I think that a lot of that stuff needs to be inserted back, and a lot of things should be taken away. Like a lot of times, kids go to school and they have their phones. So you have your phones, that's automatic distraction for us to teach. So if we take away the phones, then you're forced to hear us as men and watch us as men move around as you are supposed to. Because we can easily say things out of our mouth to tell y'all to do something, but that's not what you all are all paying attention to. You all are paying attention to the way we move, what we say, and how we talk. So, you know, a lot of things hands-on, I think that's very important that needs to be inserted back into the school system.
I feel like going back to the young men who do have like father figures and do like communicate well and say yes sir, no sir, need to be more around of the kids that don't have like that father figure, and just need to watch them as like role models and stuff, and just learn from them, and just let them be around each other, and yeah, just learn from the young kids that do have father figures around them.
Gotcha. So peer-to-peer interaction. I know my guy wanted to say something back here.
How y'all doing? The question was, what can the district do more about these young men? Find first partners in the community that are willing to help with the young men, that are willing to deal with the ones that we're giving 180-day suspensions to. I ain't versed enough on that, but I know if you throw a kid out of school or make it harder for him to get to school for 180 days, that's not good. So we need alternatives to throwing the kids or push them to the side, because the one that we push to the side, if he's already acting up, or if they're already acting up, and you push them away for 180 days, yeah, maybe they're supposed to go to another school, but it's going to be more trying for them to get to the other school. How you think the behavior is going to be after 180 days away from everyday structure, everyday discipline? So we got to try our best to throw them away, not sweep them under the rug, not make them feel like they're swept under the rug. We have to mess, and we're adults. We grown as we can be. So they're going to mess up. We cannot throw them away. We have to find the organizations, find the people that care, find the teachers. They're doing it because they really care, and find time for these wayward, or whatever the word you want to look for, these bad kids, if you want to call them, some of them. But we to keep our hands on them, have to keep them under the umbrella. We owe it, because if we don't, the ones that we throw away, they're gonna hurt him if they haven't learned any better, or they're gonna take him with them and do that we fix him, or that's not fair to the ones who are disciplined. So, but we owe it to these children. We should do it because we ought to do it. Not throwing them away. Find the people that'll help. Love on them. That's it. Love on them. They'll be involved. Get much time around them, because that we can pound what we want to do into them while we're in this barbershop. We gotta hang out with Timmy or Johnny and get into God knows what. So the main, and we know they're safe. We know they're protected. Keep them in a safe space, and we know they're safe. The longer they're Dr. Watson ain't letting nothing go down. Mr. Woodard ain't letting nothing go down. Mr. Joe ain't letting nothing go down. The Boys and Girls Club or Hamilton High School, they're safe. We know they're in a safe space. The longer they sitting up in here with grown people who know how to be adults and let kids be kids, everybody plays their role. So that's it. Just, it's like a team. Everybody got to play the role. The kids be kids. When you around be around adults, be kids. See how life, how critical and how fragile life is. All y'all, I'm sure, have lost somebody. Another thing, we traumatized. How many been? All of us have lost somebody. Seen somebody. We get no therapy for it. First question, that's it. We gotta support y'all. We can't expect the district to do it. It starts at home. Whatever is lacking at home, we gotta attend to when it hits the street. But the district cannot do everything. Like the cops can't do everything. Y'all coming along afterwards. We gotta help y'all. We gotta discipline our kids. Hopefully we'll talk.
Yeah, one more.
One more thing. I think it's very important for the school district as a whole to make programs in place, outreach programs, mentorship programs, put you young guys into the right and positive settings and situations. But it's also important upon you all to make sure that you meet us halfway. You know, a lot of times we create many, multiple programs, multiple internship opportunities, positive work-based learning opportunities, and folks just don't come out, But we can't do it. We have to meet each other, and that's where the mentorship piece comes in, because I know Dr. Feagins is getting ready to roll out a new program called Champs, where we're going to have central office staff that's going to be mentoring some of our students, or several of our students. And so it's programs like that where we just make sure that we continue to stay out front and let you all know that we're here to support you, to get sure that you guys can be the best version of yourselves that you can be. And I think it's just important for us to make sure that we are on top of our game to make sure that we provide our kids with the best opportunities.
Yes. Okay.
We all live in Memphis, and we moved out of our communities to go to a better community. It's all about culture. How do you change the culture of a school? So I went to Melrose and East. My kids go to private school. Why did I send them to private school? Because of the culture. So how do we change the culture? I think what I see is small things like a uniform policy. When you look at successful programs that we don't have to reinvent, what have they done for their culture? By having a uniform policy, everybody is created equal. Because believe it or not, when we step out in society, we always wearing a uniform. Some people dress professional. Fatigue, he's in the military. So what are the uniforms these kids are wearing? These are mostly rappers in school systems. And they emulating the same behavior. It's hard to be a thug and gang. I watch the prom photos that I see people posting, and those young men feel good about being professional. So one of the ways I think we need to do is start, change the uniform policy. Hey, everybody got to come to school looking the same way. And I think for our young men to change them, put them in the tie. Take those Jordans and Air Force Ones up out the school system. A young lady just can't wear. Those things should be outlawed. Where there's no order, there's no peace. Where there's no peace, there's no order. And also, let's also look at one of the biggest distractions that's facing our kids. And I think one of the most common, have to get the cell phones out the school system. It's a major distraction. The music content they're listening to is filth. And right now, the music is undefeated. So those are things. A uniform policy, I think, primary distraction within the cell phone. Videos, music, television. They're not seeing the proper mentorship. I do agree with the young man about male mentorship for what they can be from a male perspective. They're seeing a woman version of it in some of the administration, in the male examples of that. So you do need, it's not about the education piece, it's about the mentorship of seeing what you can be, because what they are seeing the rappers. and they feel they can be a rapper before they can be a principal, a school teacher, or educator.
So the next one I'm gonna throw in on y'all, and I've been asking in all the series, and I always like to give a disclaimer. It's just my opinion, and that disclaimer is: should we steer our trades, or should we always tell everybody to go to college? So again, my opinion is that hey, we have HVAC techs. We're in a barbershop, and one thing we know about the barbershop is shopping. Y'all go up on haircuts every year. The barbers make good money. So the kids need to understand, y'all know I ain't playing. The kids need to understand that maybe college isn't the only option. And I've been joined by a special guest here today. That's right. We'll welcome her into the barbershop space today.
Hello, hello.
And we do
Hello.
in each of the series. So, Sue, we was going right into my
Yes, entry music. Come on, entry music. How are you?
So, Sue, we was going right to my favorite question about asking everybody: is the choice or the route college, or is it an option also to pick up a trade? So he wanted to jump in right away.
That's my guy right there.
Okay, so I've been a kid that always want to go to the military. I feel that, a military should be an option. Trade schools, you can go to the military. It's all about what you want to do, and I definitely agree. HVAC techs, barbers, diesel mechanics, shop. Back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, they used to actually have those in all the schools before they took them out. And what I really feel is that our young boys and our young men really do need that to show that, it's not always about college. And, you can really pursue any path that you want to. And it also, just in high school, just give them those industry certifications, just, make them ready for work if they don't want to go to college.
Yes, sir. What's your name, young man?
Mark Williams, ma'am. Mark Williams.
Mark Williams. And what year are you? What grade are you in?
Rising 9.
Rising 9? Love it, love it, love it. He said, will you repeat the question, please?
So the question again, I always like to give a disclaimer. Just my opinion. But is it should it be other options than telling everybody to go to college? Should we be steering kids or students, if you will, towards getting a trade and doing something like the military? This is the first time the military has come up in our Barbershop Talk series, so that's a really good one. A lot of people like to often think the military is scary, but I know have a lot of friends who went the military route who are way well off than I am. So I think it's important for us to give all options to students.
When I think about that type of question, I kind of think about it's about where you want to go in life. What people always talk about college is that it's like a slingshot. You put yourself down with like student debt or taking time out of like just working to study. And so as a slingshot, you pull yourself back to launch further into the future. I think that's the best thing about college. Like if you want to become a lawyer, you want to become a doctor, you have to do something or take time to study those type of things because we want quality people, like we want quality teachers and things like that. Like you kind of talk about with military is also a good option. I looked into military like before I got benefits when you come out of the military. Like you have to stay there for a certain amount of period, but just like college, launch yourself back, or really when you're in the military, you don't launch yourself back because you fight for our country, so that's always a good thing. But you still launch yourself back to go further into the future, and it just gives you a lot of opportunities. Another thing about the military is people always think it's always like fight. There's a lot of things you can do in the military. You can be a military lawyer, you can be a military medic, trombone. A lot of people say I could play the trombone in the military, still get the same amount of benefits. So you also talk about trade. Trade is getting more popular and more popular and more popular. Trying to go into trade these days, and it's actually being like very beneficial for them. The only scary thing about it is that with so many people going into that field and when it being so popular, you might be the one that the option and things like that. There's so many competition. competition might be a higher field. When you go to college or the military, like if you got a medical degree, most likely you're gonna be able to work in the medical field. A logical.
He has a full ride to Rose College.
I was about to say, where we going? Because congratulations. There you go.
You know, I would like to chime on that too. You know, when you think about our leaders, when you think about leaders like W. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, similar argument. Booker T was more so how you get a skill, you get a trade. No matter how smart of us in, we need HVAC, we need plumbers, we need electricals. These trades were engineers. We become architects. We become our own doctors and things like that. Both work hand in hand. 4 X's. You either go to college, you go to the military, you go to everybody is more. Some people are hands-on. Some people want to fix cars. Some people want to be barbers. Some people want to be, going into electrician. Some people like academically gifted. They're just gifted academically, and they're freedom fighters. Represent the people. They want to represent justice. Things of these natures right here. So that's where I think the individual say, man, what do you like? What is your skill set? What makes you happy? You know, tell us more about you. Those individuals in the career path and make sure. So don't have a kid going to college when he was really good with his hands. With his hands, he's going to like, what are we doing here? So I think that's why the mentorship in the school system is very, very vital.
I want to say something. Piggyback on what you just said. I want all the young men to understand to come to high school and not know what path you want to go on. Because then that's when the mentorship really comes up. Because now you get influenced by somebody say, hey, you know what? I like what he does. That may be a path that you may take. Or you may see, you may come into the barbershop one day and be like, hey, man, you know, I could cut hair. I think I could do it. And now you have all this influence right here to show trade can take you to the next level. And it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 people doing it. It's just what. So it's okay to come in and be able to be influenced, but you have to be open. And I know where it does happen at Westwood High School.
Darren? No pressure, Darren. No pressure at all. I'm well, how are you? I'm good. Yeah. All right, he said you were the here, so. That's precious cargo right there.
Barber and all the stuff. Everything these guys are telling y'all is so accurate. A, B, C, D. Those are your options. I went to trade school. That's right. So you can do what you want to do. You got to put your mind to it.
Love
I
it.
just had to add that because I heard everything I heard was positive. Good job. So what I was going to say is I took the route as going into a career. I'm a Memphis fireman. I'm a paramedic. So the thing about it, going to college is good, getting a trade is good, but also going into a career path at your age. What we do, we have a program that's called Explorers. So we and everything, and we talk to the young boys and young girls that if they want to become a fireman or something like that, so we actually let them do ride-alongs. And once they come out, they see everything we do, how we live in the stations, and they probably go on some of the calls with us to actually see what we do. Because a lot of stuff that we make don't make the news. They always give you the bad stuff as far as how life going, but they don't give you the good. So the thing about I love what I do. I've been with the department, with the city for 10 years. I'm a paramedic. So now I'm out teaching at the training center to teach them the way of the career that you're supposed to get and everything, and how to have good bedside manners and everything like that. So you have your militaries, you have your trades, you have your school, but it's like, what do you have a desire to do? You got to find the drive in your heart to be like, okay, I want to do this, I want to make it better. Because as we get older, we need the young generation to come up and actually be leaders, be young men, be young women, and actually teach the next generation that's coming up. So all I say as far as that is,
I love what I do. I love the fact that I can teach the younger, just like I was taught and mentored by older men and everything like that, to make me a stronger man. So that's all I got. Thank y'all.
Phil introduced it a little bit, but we was talking about, he was telling them a little bit about Champs, the program that we're going to implement very soon. So you want to talk a little bit about Champs?
Sure. Champs is providing about 15,000 men a mentor from a central office leader. So I have Champs action, if you will, all of our central office employees to take on about 5 to 7. That's where we're losing our students. Certainly we have an opportunity to do better engagement, the excitement and what's happening in our classrooms and schools and strength and all that stuff, but where we are losing most of our in our middle grades. And so I everyone to become a champ, to champion somebody, at least 5 to 7 folks in special spaces, to really start the conversation and to strengthen that we encourage our young leaders to stay on track, that we get to know them in such a way that they know that somebody else, in addition to their family, in addition to their friends, get started, we'll start to call on the community to join in, because mentorship, it's that area is life-changing and it's life-lasting. And so as I listen to the young men here today, you can go, you look like you're ready to go. Jump right on in.
Somebody that I feel as my mentor is definitely, although my dad does live far away, like he has taught me a lot of good things and how to be respectful and how to be a gentleman. And I feel like every young man should look up to their dad, because me personally, my dad's taught me a lot of stuff, and that's very important. So yeah.
My daddy's girl. He's here with his dad. Yeah.
Well, you know, look up to Dr. Watson. I look up to all my coaches that helped me get to the point where I am now. I look up to my dad. Has values that want to do something in life. That's what I look up to.
Remind me, I remember you did my tour at Westwood, so remind me, what grade will you? Okay, rising senior. Let's go, 2025. Sedarian, that's right. What about you, young man?
He works for Shelby County Schools and helps kids just find what they really love. And I really just look up to him, and just a great role model for me, and just try to follow his footsteps, what he does.
What's your name?
Bryce Dotson.
Bryce?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever said it? That's good.
He was proud when you said it.
Good stuff, good stuff. What about you? Yeah.
I probably agree with everybody else. I think my dad is my role model too. He really put me, everything I have going for myself right now, really my dad put me in when I was younger, as far as sports and everything else. He just pushed me to be a better person in everything I do. He always tell me, we had this thing called a Palmer Pledge, and he's sitting over, if I was trying to go to the NFL, I just push myself to be my best.
That's the Palmer Pledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Let's go, Daddy. Palmer Pledge. I love it, love it. Mentorship is, you all should be mentors as well. And so we have elementary students, cheerleaders, that young eyes are watching you, right? Little eyes are always watching you. Received a letter today, I read, from a student in, what's the district, Jackson? Is that the district here in Tennessee somewhere?
Madison.
That's what it. Yeah, share that from afar, right? Like he's been watching and looks up to me, right? And so you don't know who's watching, and you're not doing it because people are watching. But the best version of you is good for somebody, right? So pass on your story, pass on your narrative, pass on your skills. The Palmer Pledge. Be more, vocal about sharing how influential and positive your dad is for you. The stereotypes that are unfortunately attached to us. And all of you just mentioned, my dad is my role model, right? And so just knowing that is a positive. But knowing that you too are also a mentor, a leader, somebody that somebody is looking up to is also special. Talk to me a little bit about on the days when you don't want to come to school, like what pushes you then? Because it's probably not your dad then, right?
Okay. Something that I guess I don't know, I'm just very passionate about connecting with people, specifically when it comes down to diversity. At my school, I was part of 12 different leadership things. I was a leader of a club, I was leader of another club, I was leader of the house day activities, prefect of diversity, I just did a lot of stuff, and I knew if I did not come to school, they wouldn't have a leader to lead the club. They wouldn't have a leader to tell them about, to connect with the teachers about things, to pull some aside to tell us how good your school is. I liked that I was needed for my school, and it was very stressful sometimes, and it was probably the reason why I didn't want to go to school. But knowing that I was needed, that I was necessary to pushing my school towards a dream or a goal that I personally wanted to see, I think really advanced me, because there was a time where I hated my school. I wanted to transfer, and my parents if you want something, you got to make it happen. You can't just complain about it. So I joined everything I did, and it just became I guess a job. I just really enjoyed going to, a job you enjoy and stuff like that. I just really enjoy going to school now. That's how I've always been now, so yeah.
And now you love your school.
I love
because you got involved, right?
Yeah.
The power of one. So certainly share the expectation for each one of you to get involved in at least one organization this year, and it's for that very reason. It's impossible to show up in a place and you're involved and connected to now. You can't other it, is how I've shared it with adult leaders, because now you are it, right? And so you either make it better or you sit back and you complain about it, and one of those does nothing, right? So it's so encouraging to hear that the thing that stressed you out was also the thing that brought you joy, being involved. That's good stuff. Y'all brought the right folks. Darian. So essentially, in short, what gets you up on those days when you really don't want to go to school?
I have no choice. I have to get up. I have no choice. First off,
And you had no choice because of
my mother. Besides that point, I feel like I'm a giving person. I love to give. I love to share. So I think long term, community wise, because I want to go back and give to the community. So with me, I play sports. So athletic department, I want to give back to the athletic department and go and give and give and give. So if I'm not there showing out for my team, or not showing out for my team, or not doing well so my team can go to the next level, or have better things as the next team, I'm doing something that I'm not doing right. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Love it. So team, people, others, giving. You recognize that, this journey is yours, but it's not all about you. Who you are and what you're doing is shaping the world around you and you, right? And you get that. How early on do you think you realized that?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I started realizing it this year. My senior year coming up, I started realizing it ain't just about me. I can't be selfish. I gotta put everybody else into perspective. I'm not the only one. Yes, ma'am.
I think too, piggyback off that, he shows up at school because his principal knows where he lives. And I don't think he wants us to come and visit. And with him being a leader in the school, I specifically chose him because of what I saw in him. Even in a brief period of time, I saw that he had these qualities to be a leader in the school. So it's important to put him out front. So I know it's a little pressure sometimes, but this year we're doing a school-wide mentoring program. He's one of the officers, a part of that mentoring program. From day one, he's going to be responsible for making sure that the ninth graders understand what the Westwood Way is. So he steps out to be, hey, you're a leader, and show them the way. You're not only an athlete, but you're a student athlete. And so you have to be an example. So he's taking that charge, and I'm really proud of who he is, what he's doing, and what he said today.
Good stuff. That's growth. Let's go, Mark.
What I liked about it is he's a student athlete, he's a leader and everything, I'm a rising ninth grader, For me, I'm a student leader, I motivate people that's younger than me, I motivate everybody, and that's one thing you also gotta make sure is youth leadership and youth mentoring, especially I feel is one way how to uplift young men is because, when true enough, getting it from adult, it's definitely needed. But when you see from your own brother that, like the same age, same size as you, you start really yeah, I got to start doing this because, it makes more sense to the brain. So that's what I say about, make youth leaders, but putting more in the classroom, put them more, make more programs so that, youth can lead other youth and mentor other youth.
That's positive peer pressure, right?
Just to piggyback off of what he was saying, being involved in school really does help drive you to want to go, because knowing that you have responsibilities at school kind of make it to where you have to go because you have to show up and be there for your school. And then also, just to shout out Mark, me and Mark, when we went to the same middle school, and everybody just always wishes they was like Mark. He was like,
All right, Mark. Give him his flowers while he's here. I love it. Love it, love it.
So I'll jump in, Soup, and piggyback, like he said, and ask. I'm gonna put Mark back on the spot because you mentioned some programs. So as a district, of course, we like to think we do everything that we do is right, but we understand that there's opportunities. So this is for all the young men who are in the district. What are some programs you would like to see, or what are some things that we can do better to ensure that you guys are successful? You see, he's ready. I know he's ready.
I would say one thing we should definitely introduce and start doing, since I like the military, say do more ROTC programs, JROTC programs, because there's currently about 15 of them, and I think there could be more of those in Shelby MSCS. So we can. So that way, so we can, mentor our young men, because the military does have a profound impact, on people when they get in. And so I think that would be another way for leadership, but also as mentoring as well, so to get both sides of the aspect, both sides of the coin.
Mark, I look forward to seeing you become a legacy builder, so you can solve all the issues of the district. Looking forward to it.
On purpose, why I say I don't really see a lot of advertisement and my media usage and stuff like that about the programs we have. So I want to poop on a program if I don't know it exists, right? One of the programs I had in my school as prefect of diversity was come face to face with the future. When it comes down to specific, communities, the only thing you see, I think we touched on it earlier, was you see rappers, actors, and artists. That's the only thing you see. So one thing I did at St. George's was I brought St. George's alumni who have been they're PLC people who have been doctors, lawyers, dentistry, and it was just a real talk, kind of like how we have in here. Kind of like what we have in here. They just talked about life, how school prepares you for the future, how it the struggles and the benefits. I think people don't talk about the benefits enough when it comes down to being a POC person, trying to pursue something greater in life. And seeing that, a lot of people gave me the feedback is I saw myself in them. Seeing somebody who from the same neighborhood as me, seeing somebody who came from the same city as me, who there were people from New York, they flew down here. There were people from Washington, they flew down here. Seeing a POC person and any career that's just not those three that I named, it just does something to kids. And a lot of kids are very appreciative. They're really sad that I'm going away because I'm graduating now, but they're we need those more. We need that. We just need that. There were a lot of little girls saying, I want to see women do it. And there was a lot of Latino people saying, I want to see Latino people. It was just it was so, it just really irked my heart to see how many kids, were going through that. And I also worked with summer camp for a while, and I asked all the kids, what do y'all want to be when y'all grow up? one of them even said like an entrepreneur, but I want to be a basketball player and a rapper at the same time. I was like, hey, you can do whatever you want to do. It's just like we are teaching kids and influencing them that those are the only options that you have. And realistically, it's not. It's one of the most improbable options to have because like it's the 1% of people who actually really make it. And while you might be doing something different, it's just we should encourage people to do something that will really help the community, like a doctor, like a lawyer, somebody who can defend people, advertise for people. And programs like that, I think, would really help.
That's good stuff. When you sat in the chair, what did you tell them you wanted?
I have no idea. You just come in, I'm like,
you just come in to sit down.
You know what to do, you know what to do.
Got it.
I have a question for the young men in the room. When Superintendent came up with the idea to do the barbershop talks, and like you guys are here now, how impactful does this? How do you feel about this? You know, I see you guys and I'm listening to you and I'm so impressed by the things that you're saying, your experiences that you guys have all experienced, and I just want to know kind of how does this make you feel that when Superintendent sets this up? Because I know this is the first one I've had the opportunity to come to, and I'm blown away just by listening to you young men. So I just wanted to, hear from you.
All right. So one thing that I definitely say, first impression before I came here, I was like, oh, okay, we're going to go ahead and talk in a barbershop and talking about stuff with MSCS. This, it's talking about, men and, how to develop men, how to make sure that, we have more successful men, yes, actually, as, in MSCS and, extending their outreach. And one thing that I definitely like about this is, it allows us to be, true with ourselves and true with our young men and true with the adults in the room. And I also like it for the fact that, Ms. Feagins is coming here and, giving her viewpoint. And, we're truly seeing how MSCS is actually, thinking about us and, the actual truth that it is in itself.
First and foremost, I want to thank you personally for coming out and actually reaching out and touching these kids. 14 years ago, me and Penny Hardaway started this business, and the whole purpose of this business was for situations like this. It was something that we planned out to do. We didn't need the money. Penny was playing golf in Miami, but this was part of the situation to change the community, to make an upscale salon where that we can show kids that it's possible to do positive things and to come out to be better men. And it's working, and I'm so happy for it, to be a part of it. I don't want any flowers, and I don't want any special accommodations, but I just want to say thank you for coming out. I even brought my nephew, Jaden Hardaway, formerly of Memphis Tigers, out to, give kids mentorship, to let them know that positivity we are aware of it, and that's the direction that we're moving in.
What's up, everybody? Jaden Hardaway here. I used to play at the University of Memphis. I went there about 5-6 years, got my bachelor's and my master's there. And, I just think what you guys are doing here is real big. Just keep taking those positive steps, just getting involved in the communities, helping others, educating others. Just being a positive light because, Memphis needs that right now. So, obviously I didn't know y'all were going to be here, but, I always appreciate, just seeing a positive light in the communities out here. And,
So you obviously have your dad who's been in your life. Did you have mentors and people like that who are pouring into you, what we call extended family, and how impactful was that for you?
Oh, it was very impactful, just growing up because, you definitely need those mentors in your life as a kid, because once you grow older and you start maturing more, you start to see how important that is, especially nowadays. So, I definitely appreciated my mentors, and, these kids are blessed to have y'all.
Yeah. So you certainly never skipped school, you never missed school or anything like that, but what would you say to encourage students to be present, one, on day one, August 5th for us, but certainly each day after that?
Just to, every day in school is important. It's just laying your foundation, to whatever path you want to take, for the rest of your life. So, just definitely take it seriously. Just cherish every moment that you have, during school.
Yeah, what was your major?
Business management. And then I got a master's in sport commerce.
Got it. I'm recruiting, so you'll be teaching in a minute if you stay in here too long. Got 5,000 for you, got some housing for you. No, this was great. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your presence for sure. And when we think about student athletes and the power of what that means, your influence, your words, what would you say to these young men who are saying, I'm a leader and I want to be a better leader as well? What does that sound and look like to you?
It sounds very promising, you want to take that initiative now to be a leader, and I just say just be consistent with it.
There you go.
Times will get tough. You will hit obstacles, but, just keep going. That's all I really have for y'all.
I appreciate you. Good stuff. You can clap, Mark. I feel you. We follow your lead, Mark. That's right. All rising ninth, and then we have a senior, right? Everybody. What's your name? Marcus Harris. Okay, and what's your name? Deontay. What school do you attend? Westwood. And what grade are you in? Breathe for me. It's all right. Rising junior. Okay. Talk to me about mentorship. Do you have a mentor? You want a mentor? Are you a mentor? All of the above.
It's my teammates for real. Because even if we having bad games or good games, they just strive to do more and be better. So as me seeing them be better, I strive to be better myself.
I want to ask you all something, because it's always asked of me, what are you going to do to make our schools safer? Right? Like, that's the big question. And I'll say I'm going to be in every single one of them. At the door. Ready, right? No, but what does that look like for you all? For me, the key is relationships. Like, the stronger the relationships are, the more empowering your journey becomes, the more you want to show up in school, the more when you see something, you say something. But obviously, safety is extensive and expansive. It's pretty layered. And so if that's the core, what else would you add to what makes a space safe, but more specifically, what makes school safe, and how do we make it safer?
The one thing that we kind of encouraged in my school a lot was the community. What we will always tell people who wanted to come to our school is that know that you might have your little friends on the side, but your teachers will probably be your best friends. Like, the way I could talk to a teacher and they would be able to respond to me, give me mentorship, they've lived this life, it was just amazing. Having quality teachers really gives you a space where you can really share anything. The other thing is, like, building up self-esteem. A lot of times we see, especially like young men, is this like fear to like point out when something ain't wrong, like when something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like they said, I want to be shaky or something like that. When I was in summer camp, kid get pushed out. I'm like, I saw you get pushed. Like, what happened? Say, I didn't get pushed. I don't care about it. I ain't trying to be shaky. Like, you got pushed on the floor, you can push on the floor again. Like, when you don't say nothing, start happening again. When you don't say nothing, that's when the influence like seeks in. When it came down to bad influences in my school, people always speak up about it. Like, hey, I saw this go wrong. Hey, I saw this go wrong. And there's somebody else, they be like, you shouldn't do that, or you snitching, or you doing that, something like that. But that could prevent like someone losing their life. That can prevent a lot of stuff. Today it's so easy for kids to get influenced by these like big things such as like drugs and violence, and that we really need to speak about when this stuff happens, when is it brought in, where is it coming from, talk about how to keep it out and give kids a space to where they don't feel like they're being shaky if they want to report something like that. I think that's just the biggest thing that you need to encourage, specifically in school and specifically in the lower grades. Because once you get to the older grades, they've already picked like what side they're gonna go on. But really, when it comes down to kids, that's where it starts. That's what people target, because they know they have the biggest margin of influence on them.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I definitely agree with him. We definitely need to start doing it like as early as we can, but also with the kid that was getting pushed down and everything. That's and he's saying like he all right, nothing happened. That's because of the no snitch culture that's here in Memphis. That well, not really Memphis, but really everywhere in America. that, you know, I really do hate, because it basically makes and breeds our kids to be like, you know, if something happened to them, something happened to somebody else, you know, they, you know, go ahead and turn the other cheek and, you know, not look at it because, you know, oh, you know, like if you snitch, then, you know, you this or you that. And I think, like, first step would be to definitely improve, probably like removing that culture, because when you remove that culture, it literally exposes everything else that we need to do. So I definitely say that the no snitch culture would definitely be as a big burden on schools and really everybody in general. So if we remove that, that'd be a huge rock that'd be lifted off of everybody's shoulders.
I would like to say that the no snitch culture is really not a no snitch culture. It's no snitching in front of everybody, because I promise you, when you get them behind closed doors, they tell everything. So they want to profess like it's a no snitch culture, but trust me, it's not a no snitch culture. They will tell you if you get them in the right space, because a lot of times our children want to be children. And they feel safe if they find someone that they're safe with, that they can talk to, that they know is not going to tell their business. They'll tell what's going on. That's why it's important this year. Like at Westwood, I've asked the alumni to come every day, because presence is power. After school, just be present. I'm not asking for you to do anything extensive. We're talking about 15 minutes out of your day just to be present. You might impact this young man or young lady that's going left to now go right just by being present. So it's important that we be present in these young people's lives. That's valuable. I promise it is. It changes some things. Look at Brother Kelly right here. He said he didn't realize until this year how important it was for him to be at school, to be an influence. What happens with the rest of the children that are coming every day? Now that he gets it, he'll help somebody else get it. And that's the same thing it goes for us as adults. We got to be present.
Since piggyback is the word of the day, I'm gonna piggyback on three people. I'm piggyback on Her Highness with when she said we got the right ones here. When he talked about the programs, social media, whatever, making the programs more possible or more visible to the students. And my brother back here said about he was impressed with the kids that we got here. All right, we got the right ones. To make it safer, we gotta go get the wrong ones. Now, we got the right ones. Now we gotta get the wrong ones. With him making stuff more visible, we gotta go get them. We can't wait on them. We can't put it out there because they're going to go for them flashing bells and the whistles and the other things that's going to entice them after school rather than coming to this Spanish program or chess club or whatever. So we got to go get them.
That's right.
And with him saying that we got some good ones here again, what about the bad ones? I'm going to tell a quick story and I'll be out. There was a man, had 100 sheep. He lost one. Searched and searched till he found it. Left the other 99, searched till he found it. There was a lady had 10 pieces of silver. She lost one. She turned on the lights, left the other 9, swept and swept and swept and swept till she found it. There was a man had 2 sons. He lost one. I helped him find it. So the point is, the first man he only lost 1%. He had 100 sheep. He only lost 1% of what he had, but he searched and searched till he found it. The lady lost 10% of what she had when she dropped the silver. She searched, left the rest of it, and searched till she found it because it was valuable. The man who had 1 son, that was 50% of his sons. Nobody helped him look for it. Even the Bible says, I'm not comparing to God in this, but not even his father went and looked for him. He just waited on the porch. He welcomed him when he came back, but nobody went and searched for him. We're going to search for what we value, man. We got to go. If we care, we got to go find them, man. We got to go get them. That's it. That's my story.
Hey, it's a pleasure being here and seeing this is one of my first barbershop talks as well. I had the pleasure of being the co-chair of public safety for the city of Memphis and one of the only civilians on the public safety task force for the city. So when we're talking about young men and safety, it's amazing to see you young men. When you talk about mentorship, I want to let you know that from an adult, I'm extremely proud of you. I want to let you know another thing. From black men, we got to start telling other men, I love you. I love you, I need you, and the future needs you. Because of us young men not being able to hear that, there was a study done in 2022 where we studied over 2,022 men. And we found out that there was no safe space for men because of the term toxic masculinity. that when it comes to our young men, they have no space to be safe and learn how to be men. So I'm proud of barbershops such as Christyles that opens up where young men can learn and have other men to be those mentors. But it goes back to what Joe says. It's so many men that don't have, young men that don't have access to this space. And when the professionals no longer live in the inner city limits, sometimes the only figure that they see as being successful is someone who has no choice but to do wrong to make it on their own. See, broken people have raised more broken people, and hurt people, we end up with more hurt people. But we have enough people here who are willing to go out and make the difference. And it's very pleasing to see that young men are taking that charge to say enough is enough, and this is what needs to be highlighted. If we put the positive things out more than we see the negative things, if the news talk about stuff like this a little bit more than who shot John, the police gonna find who shot John. We don't need to see that every day. We need to see these young people who are making a difference so other young people understand that this is an opportunity that is available for me. And that's what I'm extremely proud of.
Going back on touching on mentoring, I believe like we should get like the kids that struggling, having problems, we should take them out of the city, like show them different things rather than being stuck in the city, being stuck in one place. Because some kids haven't even been out their driveway. Go to school, just go to school, go home. Go to school, go home. That's all they know. So I believe getting the different programs like Dr. Feagins said, like Champs, Project Stand. Project Stand, I've been out of Atlanta. They took me to Atlanta for 2 days, meeting everybody, doing great things, having fun. Just taking kids, Memphis kids out of Memphis, getting them out of that Memphis mentality. That's what they need to get out of. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I definitely agree with him. You know, I've been to places, not just on travel, but also for like with Grizzlies Prep for our 8th grade trip. You know, the look I saw on some boys' faces, you know, when we went to New Orleans, you know, it was like, you know, they were surprised that this was actually like, you know, and it was like, yeah, like this is how it is outside of Memphis, and you know, they were shocked and everything. And that's also one thing is like what he said again, like I'm piggybacking everything I know, but we just need to even we just need to get them like out of city limits. Like you can go to like Nashville or Jackson, Mississippi, or Little Rock, or you know, down, you know, where Mississippi Valley State is, you know, maybe that college, or you know, other colleges, you know, that sometimes, you know, you don't have to go, you know, all the way to the top, or you know, you don't have to, you know, just stay in your community. You know, you can just go, you know, you can go somewhere, you know, that's like 100 miles away or 50 miles away, and you still be close to home, but you still be, you know, away, and you'll see different perspectives. Because, you know, it's crazy how, you know, 25, 30 miles can separate from Memphis to Germantown. It's a whole different culture. And, you know, you know, the fact that it's that close, and yet, you know, our kids, you know, some of them still have that mentality and they're still staying in Memphis, it proves that, you know, something is truly wrong, and it's something that we truly have to do in order to reverse that.
Mark Vermeer.
And this is something else that you all should understand. Like, if you all are having problems like in school, and you don't want to go to the teacher, you don't want to go to the principal, or you don't want to tell your mom and dad, I understand that. I have daughters that I've raised. I've had kids that's your age that are adults now, that I've practically mentored and raised. And I want you all to know that the barbershop is a safe place. We are men, just like you are, that you are for the future. So if you need things to tell us, we are here to help. We step in, we'll come to the school and speak to the teachers and the principals for you. That's what we are here for. We're not just here for a haircut. Like my slogan is, it's not just a haircut or a style, it's an experience. And that's so true, because this is the place where a lot of urban black men are raised outside of the homes. So to you all, it don't have to be Christyles. Any barbershop, you can reach out to them to make a change. And that's my words to you all. And to Miss Superintendent, these are places where young men come every single week to listen, and most of them is reaching out for help. They're reaching out for their father figure. They're reaching out for that uncle, that superstar. They're looking for that. And this is the place where we find it. We try to surround them with positive people like the firemen and my nephew Jaden. And we have different people around doing positive things on a high level that can motivate you all. But don't be afraid to come around and speak your mind. Don't just come in and sit down and wait for a haircut and get on your phone. If it's something that's on your mind that you think that you need to learn to be a better man, speak it out. That way you come in here, you have 8 different opinions. That's like more than enough opinions that you can pick out to choose to what you want to be.
Good afternoon, Dr. Feagins. Congratulations. And to you, new Superintendent of Operations. I'm Marcus Harris, and I've been in the early childhood community for over 20 years. I'm also an MSCS community partner with Pre-K and Head Start. So we have a total of 5 classrooms between our 2 campuses. And I don't really have a lot to say, but I want to just say congratulations, and that if nobody hears your voice, the pictures that you portray, you are here for the children. And I know we're talking about these young men and their age, but it starts where I am with the 3s and 4s. And if we can not only get those children involved, but the parents, we can capture dads and moms at the door when we're going to Pre-K, Head Start, and those type of programs, then we definitely can tackle this thing from the bottom and the top, and we'll meet in the middle. But I want to say congratulations. My most impressive story about you is that when you talked about Melrose and how they had 67 students that were slated not to graduate, you got it down to 65. I said, give this lady a bonus now, because that was impressive. Operation Graduation. Those type of things, these are quick wins. These are quick wins, so I'm very impressed. And I just want to say congratulations. That's really why I'm here, to say hello. Thank you.
Got anything else?
No. You know, this to be the final stop. First, thank you. No, Coach said he couldn't make it. He's got a job to do as well. So I said, you go do your job, because we're all trying to win, right? We're trying to bring, heighten the level of excellence of the city. And so we certainly know that the root of all of that, the anchor, the core of all of that is our youngest leaders, right? And so as the district goes, so goes the community. And I say it, I'll say it a lot and say it often. And so as we connect and continue to collaborate in spaces like this won't be our last time. The salons are calling, so they're mad at me now. So we gotta go somewhere else, and keep this party going, and shift from conversation respectfully to action, right? And so seeing you all in schools is what I'll be looking for now, right? Hearing from the young men about how they got involved in one more organization is what I'll be looking for now. I have no doubt that this year will be an outstanding year. I hear it from you. I see it in your eyes. We can feel it in the energy. Certainly we'll hit some humps, but that's what life consists of in general. What I'm most pleased about is that you came on a Saturday. You allowed me in your safe space. And I hope Darren took care of my daddy down there. I haven't seen him yet. He hasn't screamed, so I'm sure he's okay. But interactions like this matter. And so don't stop, today at the barbershop. Keep going on your own. I want to see you having it in your schools, huddling and having these conversations, but really getting out into the community and being the leaders that you are. We rise and fall based on you, and so I appreciate you, and I'm proud of you, and I certainly look forward to what we'll do together. Thank you to Mr. Langston for taking this initiative on. I think I told him in 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes later they were on the call, principals, and making it happen and getting the spaces secured. I want to say thank you to the comms team who has made this look like a professional production, and it's gotten better each time, and people are joining in online and really following the conversations nationally. People email me all the time. I watched it on YouTube, and we want to know how to help. And so none of this is just us sitting in a shop. And so I don't want us to think about it. It's just a Saturday, and we're just in Christyles' shop, and we're just having conversations. What we are doing is impactful, and you are contributing to building a legacy that we will all be proud of. So I appreciate you. All right.
All right. That's a wrap, guys. Appreciate you. Yep.